So you're thinking about moving to Sweden, huh? Maybe for work, study, or just dream of endless coffee breaks and cozy living? Well, before you pack your bags, let me share some real talk after 14 plus years of living in Sweden. It's not all IKEA catalogs and ABBA playlist. Okay, we have to start with the weather. I know, very Swedish of me bringing it up first, but seriously, it's a thing. If you're imagining snow-covered fairy tales, let me stop you right there. Winter in Sweden is not just cold, it's dark and windy. Imagine going to work at 8 a.m., it's pitch black. Leaving work at 4:30 p.m., still pitch black. And the sun, oh, it's there somewhere behind those thick clouds. There is a reason Swedes flock to a sunny corner like a moth to a flame the moment tiniest ray breaks through. I'll never forget my first winter here. I didn't see the sun for what felt like months. It was like living in a perpetual grayscale photo. And then I learned the golden rules. First, there is no bad weather, only bad clothes. You need to learn how to wear proper layered clothes. And secondly, find your outdoor winter activities. I took up downhill skiing at 34, and let me tell you, nothing says I'm new here like falling flat on your face on a beginner's slope. But summer, oh, Swedish summer make it all worth it. Imagine endless days where the sun barely sets. It's like reward for surviving the gloom. People go all out, barbecue, festivals, and yes, plenty of swimming in the beautiful lake. It's magic. Now, let's talk about Lagom. It's this untranslatable Swedish concept that means just enough, not too much, not too little. The Goldilocks of lifestyle. Coming from a culture where hustle and ambition rule, this felt odd at first. No one is trying to be the next big thing here. It's about finding balance. Flashy cars? Nope. Bragging about your success? Big no-no. Sweet like things that are steady and understated. If you come from a place where life is fast-paced and competitive like India, Iran, or the US, this might feel strange. Swedes value moderation. Talking about Lagom and Swedish moderation, if you resonate with my content on this channel, helping non-European navigate Europe's career landscape, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you get the latest updates. This mindset of Swedes is tied closely to law of jantelagen in Swedish, which emphasizes that no one should think they are better than anyone else. It's like the tall poppy syndrome, where any individual who stands out too much is metaphorically cut down. Swedes appreciate humility and fairness, so boasting about achievement can quickly make you a social outcast. It's a culture that values collective harmony over individual pride. Except for coffee. Swedes drink coffee like it's a competitive sport and snooze. Let's just say it's not for faint-hearted. Over time though, I've grown to love this mindset. It's like the whole country collectively said, hey, let's chill. Oh, and queues. Swedes love queuing. Need a loaf of bread? Better grab a queue number. Here's a paradox for you. Sweden is super collective, yet Swedes are incredibly individualistic. Case in point, taxes. My first paycheck here, ouch. The deduction was a slap in the face. But here's the thing, Swedes are fine with it. Why? Because taxes fund free healthcare, free education, paid parental leave, all that good stuff. And they trust the system. This sense of collective responsibility is deeply ingrained in their culture. Swedes genuinely believe that contributing to the common good helps everyone. And this trust in institution is what keeps the system running smoothly. Coming from a place where trust in institution is, let's say, complicated, this absolutely blew my mind. Socially though, it's a different story. Swedes value personal space like it's a human right. Chatting with the strangers? Nope. Sitting next to someone on a half-empty bus? Don't even think about this. This ties back to their individualistic mindset. Everyone handles their own business and respect others' boundaries. But once you crack the ice, there are some of the kindest, most thoughtful people you meet. It just takes time and patience to build that trust, as Swedes are cautious about opening up. This dynamic reminds me of the coconut versus peach analogy often used to describe cultures around the world. Swedes are coconuts, hard and reserved on the outside, but once you break through, they're soft and sweet on the inside. This contrasts with more peach cultures, where people are open and friendly on the surface, but might not easily form deeper connections. In Sweden, this balance of collectivism and individualism is also reflected in their daily lives. For example, Swedes insist on splitting bills to ensure equality. They don't want to feel like a burden, nor do they want others to feel indebted to them. It's about fairness, respect, and maintaining a harmonious dynamic. It's part of why Sweden works so well, even with its quirks. The good news, almost everyone speaks English. The bad news, that's a double-edged sword. People switch to English the moment they hear you mumble or mix up words, which is polite, but it makes learning Swedish harder. And here's the thing, learning the language is key to really fitting in. Sure, you can survive without it, but thriving? That's another story. Without Swedish, it's easy to feel like an outsider in both social and professional settings. This challenge ties back to Sweden's coconut culture. Social boundaries don't help either. Work friends are for work. Invites to birthday, weddings, or even casual weekend hangout? Rare. Swedes keep their personal lives very personal. It's not rude, it's just the way it is. What do you think? If you've recently moved to Sweden or have experience visiting Sweden, what challenges or surprises have you faced? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about dating. Forget what you know. Here, it's all casual. For first date, coffee or a beer often suffice. If you aim high like a dinner, it might appear too serious for the first date. And FYI, women often make the first move. And the bill? Majority of times split. Everyone is on equal footing here, and that applies to dating as well. And dating apps, they're huge in Sweden because approaching someone in real life is, well, not very Swedish. The Swedes' preference for personal space and non-intrusion make dating apps the perfect solution. Plus, they provide a safe space for connection without crossing unspoken social boundaries. And here is a fun twist. Alcohol is often the social lubricant that gets things moving. Without it, people can be, well, reserved. But that's not to say Swedes aren't interested. It's just the way of keeping things low pressure. Again, casual is key. And that extends to everything from the date setting to the conversation. Swedes don't live to work. They work to live. And this isn't just a catchy phrase, it's deeply ingrained in the culture. Want that promotion? It's less about burning the midnight oil and more about showing that you're a team player. Swedes value a sense of togetherness over competition. It's like They have collectively decided, let's not stress ourselves out. Family and recreation always come first. And I mean always. It's not uncommon for offices to empty out at 4:30 p.m., especially on Fridays. You will hear the term fredagsmys, Friday cozy time, thrown around a lot, which is all about spending time with loved ones or just relaxing on your couch with snacks. What has been your experience with Swedish culture or joining a Swedish organization? How does it compare to workplaces in other parts of the world? Share your thoughts below, I'd love to know. Now let's talk about parental leave. Swedes get a whopping 480 days to share between both parents. Yes, you heard that right. 480 days. Each parent must take at least 90 days, but beyond that, they can split it however they like. It's not uncommon to see dads in park pushing strollers or carrying babies in those kangaroo pouches. They even have a nickname, latte papas, referring to stylish dads sipping coffee while hanging out with their little ones. This work-life balance extends to everyday practices. Swedes have this magical concept called fika, which is essentially a coffee break, but it's so much more than that. It's a moment to pause, connect, and just be. It's sacred. Don't skip fika. It's practically a sin. Whether you're at work or with friends, don't turn down the fika offers. Another thing that surprised me is how Swedes prioritize their vacation. They are entitled to 5 weeks of paid leave, and they use every single day of it. In July, it feels like the entire country shuts down as everyone heads to their summer cabins. It's a level of relaxation I've come to deeply admire. Now, let's talk about housing. The market in Stockholm, absolute chaos. There is this sky-high demand. Most people want to live in city center and there simply aren't enough places to go around. Even with a good salary, finding an apartment that is both affordable and available can feel like winning the lottery. Here is what makes it tricky. Many associations have placed strict laws to limit rental apartments. On top of that, many landlords that under certain situations manage to rent out their place are skeptical about renting to expat. They prefer tenants with Swedish references, a solid credit history in Sweden, and sometimes even a personal letter from previous landlords. Yeah, it's like a job application. If you're planning to move for work, my biggest advice is to negotiate with your employer to provide temporary housing, ideally for at least 6 months to a year. This will save you countless hours of stress and frustration. Oh, and don't be surprised if you end up on a housing queue list. People in Sweden sign up for these queues sometimes for plus 10 years just to get access to rental apartment. It's not uncommon for Swedes to join the queue as teenagers so they can secure a place by the time they're adults. And if buying is on your mind, be prepared for bidding wars. The Swedish housing market is competitive, and prices in cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö can be jaw-dropping. Bottom line, plan ahead, be patient, and brace yourself for some housing market culture shock. Should you move to Sweden? It's not for everyone. If you thrive on chaos and love small talk, it will be an adjustment. But if you value trust, balance, long summer nights, you might just fall in love with this country. And hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to watch the next video of mine where I'll deep dive into challenges of entering the job market and career growth for expats in Sweden and Europe. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.